Hey team, it's time for an early career designer's portfolio review. I'm Megan Thomas and I'm a senior UX designer with almost 10 years of experience in enterprise software design. I've taught and mentored over 300 early career designers through UC Berkeley's UX UI Design Bootcamp. In this video, I'm going to review an early career designer's portfolio and share my thoughts as a senior designer. My goal is to provide actionable feedback to help them succeed as they look for a job in the UX industry. Join me for a stream of consciousness walkthrough as I assess one of their case studies. Remember, mine is just one opinion. Make sure to get multiple perspectives before making any changes. All right, let's dive into the review and learn together. Hello, Sheika. I am so in love with your portfolio. First of all, thank you for allowing me the chance to review it. I sincerely appreciate that. I also know just by instinct, you've done updates since you submitted this. And I realize this because I somehow missed you in the list. I recognize your name and I'm like, wait a second, I didn't publish anything like that or send her a video. So I'm so sorry that you submitted it and I missed it. I apologize. That is terrible. But I'm really glad I see it now. This looks so good. This is just a stunning, simple, powerful, impactful landing page. I love it so much. You've done a beautiful job. Like your picture is gorgeous, but you've chosen like a really beautiful background. This color is everything. So I love it. For me, intersectionality isn't just a buzzword. It's the driving force behind my work. I excel in fostering collaboration among cross-functional teams, gaining stakeholder buy-in through persuasive design, and championing user centricity as the core of every project. I love this. The fuels your mission to humanize technology. Oh, I love this so much. Oh, cool. I love that you kept this so like, the word I want to say is like super clean. Like you didn't allow any shadows or anything that's funky, or like you just kept it so pure, so perfect. I am also just like I just realized maybe I just really like the color. All right, look, color is very compelling. It is hard to say that, but I'm also just like, why do I love it so much? It might be that I also personally love extreme magenta, maybe a little bit. Let's take a look. I've always been drawn to strategic challenges. Ooh, what an interesting thing to say. So ever since I can remember, I've loved playing games, my now almost daily Wordle habit. Yes, my ability to visualize the big picture while fine-tuning smaller components allows me to bring everything into focus. I want to see that highlighted. I feel like you've got some really strong UX writing here. Oh my goodness. Despite the design process remaining consistent across various environments, the problems and contexts I encounter are ever changing. Yes, the process is not linear and can be messy. Regardless, I have a knack for crafting clarity where there is ambiguity. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Yep, it looks like you've got a mail to link. Look at that. Did you do like a photo shoot? My gosh, Sheika. Oh, I also noticed that you've got some pink and purple in your hair too. Oh, I'm loving it. I spend a lot of time thinking about why someone reacts a certain way during an interaction. Because of this, I'm skilled at asking questions and observing behavior to draw out meaningful insights. In every role I held in over 20 years of working in schools, I was responsible for designing how students, parents, or teachers experience school physically, digitally, or interpersonally. Sheika, this is so good. Public speaking. I went from being terrified of speaking in front of a group of any size to delivering talks at national conferences. Yes, this is a really solid okay, it's a swipey. It feels like maybe we want a couple of arrows or whatever, but like honestly, not at all mad. Product designer, got you on LinkedIn. This is amazing. Okay, cool. So it actually just drops me into the case studies. So we've got building a path to increase donations for a website redesign for the Southern Power Fund. That's awesome. Aiding seniors through website adoption, grapevine property. Okay. And then optimizing streaming for parents. All right, you're working on that right now. So I'm going to look at building a path to increase donations, the website redesign, loving the interaction. Yeah, I'm like, hold on. I want to see how you built this. Is this Simplest? Nice. Okay, I love that you use Simplest. I have not personally, and because I will just be super honest, I haven't done it because it is an investment. It's an amount of money that you're committing to, and you're kind of buying the product without truly understanding exactly how it works. I think there might be a trial to it, but I'm already super impressed. And so you've already gotten me thinking, oh, should I use Simplest? Okay, I love it. This is exciting. All right, so let's build a path to increase donations. It's a website redesign. The problem: Southern Power Fund, SPF, a nonprofit organization, wanted to illustrate their impact more effectively so they could boost individual and large-scale donations. I was on a team with 4 other designers who were working together for the first time. We had 3 short weeks to not only work on the project, but also figure out how to collaborate as a team. Way to call that out. That's something that these group projects almost never mention, is that honestly, the norming, storming, forming, and performing it's rough. It is not only rough the very first time you experience it. This is actually something I am currently still learning. Like, I have almost 10 years in the industry, and I still have to go to my mentor and go, this is a really frustrating interaction that I'm having with my product manager, or with another engineer, or somebody who's on the team, or even in a cross-functional team, someone I'm collaborating with across the company. And it is still frustrating. And it's because I forget that every time you change an aspect of the team that you're working on, or if you add new parameters or new structure to it, you have to reform. You have to go through the storming process again. And that's hard. So it's really impressive that you call that out. Everyone was passionate about contributing in meaningful ways, but we lacked leadership, clarity of roles, and alignment around goals. Oh my gosh, Sheika, your self-awareness. I mean, obviously, you know this. I think something that was speaking in my head, my little inner voice was like, wait, you forgot to mention something. Something I'd love to see on your landing page here is this a website redesign, and maybe what was your role in that redesign, so we know what exactly we're looking for. So you're a product designer in the Bay Area. I just want to make sure I understand like what you contributed to the project. So I'm making assumptions on this one, but that it has something to do with UX. But I also know which bootcamp you went to. So it's very interesting to see that. I want to give hiring managers as much context so that they know what they're looking for on here. So tell me what you did in the role of product designer. Your impact on here. So the impact: I used my background as a former teacher and principal to construct 4 design sprints, yes, over 2 days, that brought the team together, specified our roles, and set an understandable direction for the remainder of the project. With the team aligned, we ultimately designed a site that improved the navigation flow and reduced the bounce rate by 60%. What amazing. Let me see. Define and ideate, competitor analysis, heuristic evaluation, stakeholder meetings, usability tests and surveys, persona development, design sprints. I do want to know what you did to create the design sprints. I'd actually be really interested in like a separate little case study of like, how did you kind of take a lay of the land and go, oh, all right, let's get everybody on the same team and moving in the same direction. So how did you decide that? That would be really interesting. You might actually cover it, but just as an idea, being able to have that sort of leadership in a group that doesn't have a leader, that's really impressive. And people are looking for that. All right, let's see. The call to action: designed to fail. Feels like we've got a little bit of extra space here. We could tighten this up and make sure it flows nicely into that next space, so I don't feel like, oh, what else? Call to action: designed to fail. Let's go back a bit. During usability tests, we learned that users felt overwhelmed. SPF's site was wordy, redundant, and lacked familiar navigation patterns. While there was a clear call to action, donate now, at the top of the page, each subsequent action was overly complicated. Ultimately, users were redirected to external sites to make a donation. Many abandoned the task, which is obviously not the desired outcome. Nice. Hover over the annotation to learn more. What? Okay, now you've got me convinced about Simplest. I'm excited about this. Okay, in order to donate, donors can only get to SPF's site using a direct link. The link doesn't include SPF's name and can't easily be found through an internet search. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're also demonstrating your knowledge of like, what is the point of this business? It is a business, even if it's a nonprofit. They have like, there is a structure of business for a nonprofit. And if people can't find the name, or if they don't trust the link that they're clicking on, they're not going to give money. There is nobody peeling open their wallet. Okay, there's a few people who apparently will peel open their wallets for any scammer, but we know that in order to gain credibility, we need to communicate with our user. All right. The Donate Now button brings donors to a paragraph of complicated directions, and we also know that centered text makes the cognitive load higher, so it gets a little difficult. Like, are these links? What am I supposed to click on? Add it as a note with your gift. Oh, Lord, this is way too complicated. Absolutely good call. Full page scroll. Okay, so after weeding through the directions, donors need to pick one organization in the long scroll in order to move forward. What? That's so hard. I also really love how you've structured this. I won't move my screen size because I try to maintain the consistency between these videos, which, trust me, is already hard enough. But I really love how you've taken the full page screenshot and you're like, all right, look at this complicated space. So here's your Donate Now up here on the full page screen. Way down here is where you get that Southern Power Fund donation information. Then you've got a bunch of choices for places that you can donate your money. And then we've got a tiny call out here for alternate routes. What's that say? With limited information, donors pick an organization at random. Absolutely, I would. Oh my gosh, that is a really well done way to show me the important things without overwhelming me, the user, the hiring manager or recruiter, with too much information that's not actually relevant. Way to keep people focused and on task. What am I here for? I'm here to see if you have the chops to become a product designer. And as I saw today on a LinkedIn post, remember, this is not your give me a job case study. This is a, hey, do you think I'm smart enough to give me an interview? That's all we're going for here. So this is fantastic. All right, full page scroll. Once on, oh, we got to go to 5. So, okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't miss that there was any sort of like connection between these if I was following a flow, making sure that I knew where I was going first. So 5, donors are then redirected to another organization's website and away from SPF. Yeah, that's terrible. What? Full page scroll. On the new site, donors have to start the donation process all over again. And I can already tell this is not an awesome experience. There are 6 different pathways to give a donation that all lead away from SPF site. Oh my gosh, individual donors. This is a helpful map. It's not a user flow, but it is a user flow like output that helps me understand that you understand the mapping of the whole user experience, but you're giving me just enough information for me to go, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm tracking with what's going on here. Developing the value proposition. The kickoff sprint clarified our value proposition to help SPF help SPF. I would put a colon right there because I was like, period. Create user-friendly navigation, develop content hierarchy, present statistics in a succinct and direct way, increase user retention to convert site engagement into donations. That is really your biggest one. Okay, so you conducted a card sort to help lay the groundwork for the site's content hierarchy. The team consistently groups sections from the site in similar ways, even if their naming conventions vary. Okay, naming conventions varied. This is great. I don't know. I love that. Unknown. User 2, user 3. This is awesome. Super, super helpful to get the perspective from each user. Now, What's interesting about this, and normally I would call out that images with tiny writing are hard to see, but I can see the headers. I can see the labels that we've put on these categories, or that the users that you've tested with, or that you've conducted a card sort with, how they might have labeled something. And that's actually more helpful than seeing like the nuances of stuff. This is a really good visual to show that you understand how the users organize things and therefore could make decisions for the content hierarchy based on what users understand. Nice work. With that information, we planned an improved sitemap to facilitate intuitive navigation. All right. Features across the site, level 1 and level 2. I love that you've got them labeled. This is effective. You've got a good key. I like this. This makes sense. Identifying key features. With more clarity about the way the content needed to be organized, I facilitated, why am I stuttering? The floodgates sprint. Okay, did you name that? Is that something that I've never heard of that? And I'm really excited. This helped us brainstorm as many elements and features as possible to make the content more digestible. The features needed to include real-time infographics, easy to follow calls to action, CTAs, horizontal and vertical navigation to create movement, interactive map to illustrate impact. The floodgates sprint crystallizes team members' ideas. Okay. I got to be honest. I don't think that I dislike this. I love that you've called the important ones out in red. Ensure all hyperlinks are functional. Yep. Use typography to emphasize headings, subheadings, etc. Include a live ticker that shows key statistics as they change. Create an updated image carousel, add infographics to emphasize the impact of making a donation. I like this. This is really beautiful, but it's also like it's simplified the idea of what we're doing. Love. Although I really want to I want to click in and see all these. I want to see what your ideas were. That's just me being curious rather than a hiring manager. They're not going to care. Okay. Driving rapid iterations. As the project was moving along, we had difficulty communicating consistently with the stakeholders. That is often a thing. When we're moving into drafting our prototypes, the stakeholder reemerged, which brought a renewed but urgent energy into our project. All of a sudden, we needed to go through wireframing, testing, prototyping, and iterating all in the span of a week. Ugh. In order to get everything done, we found ourselves finishing mock-ups and testing in the same day. I started the team with a 6-up sprint, which allowed us to create at least 30 sketches of the main pages and reach consensus around must-haves for our wireframes. Interesting. So a 6-up sprint. See, now I'm like, wait, what's this? Is this a thing? What's that? Tell me more. Okay, maybe I don't know that. But this feels like maybe it was like a Crazy Eights kind of thing. We've done that a few times with my team, and it has really brought in stakeholders and other people across the company to give us their ideas. Even we all know, like, we have to laugh because 60 seconds to do a sketch is bananas, but we got a lot out of it. All right, day 1, sketches, team critique. Day 2, lo-fi, first click tests. Yes, mid-fi. 5-second tests and usability tests, hi-fi. Oh, that's a power move. That is hard. Very, very cool. We prototyped in teams of 2. Once one team was done, they would hand it off to an alternate team of 2 who would then test it. Nice. That is amazing because most people test their own work, and while that is effective, it can sometimes lead to blind spots and biases. So nice work. Assessing the navigation with first click tests. We achieved 100% task completion rate, but we weren't done. What's the map for? Donate buttons in a weird spot. It would be nice to have some words here. The left side moves from screen to screen. I wish it would stay put. This is amazing. I think this is exactly what I was recommending someone do yesterday, is like, give me some intimation of like who these people are. These are really important things. These are representatives of your users. Love. Keeping the through line between teams. All along, I needed to manage leading the team through this intense timeline, laying the groundwork for productive communication, designing parts of the prototypes, and providing feedback to the team that would keep us aligned. Through this frenzy, we continued until we finally had a hi-fi prototype that addressed many of the issues we identified in our initial research. Incorporating feedback. So we had a fixed position button, increasing opportunities for users to donate. Yes, I recommend that all the time. Interactive map, putting the user in control of the information that they desire. That's super cool. Incorporated statistics, legitimizing the impact of the donor's gift. Yes, I love, especially for nonprofit redesigns, I love when people demonstrate what is my money going to help them do. And I recognize that as a white woman, I probably am leaning into some white supremacy culture characteristics there with my like, well, I don't know if you are going to spend my money the right way. So that is probably, I'm going to say that is probably one of my first indications, but I also really love because it's a marketing tactic. I love it because it's a marketing tactic. So leaning away from well, are you able to spend this money effectively, and into, hey, people are more likely to give more when they know that their money makes an impact. It is psychological marketing, and it is wonderful that you've incorporated that because that's perfect. Added navigation, improving confidence in order to retain the user. Clarify the user path. Yes, specifying entry points for different donor types. Love it. Embedded mission, grounding the user in the context of the org. The effective call to action, eliciting emotion from the user and gives context. Added donation page, improving the bounce rate. Oh my goodness. This is the final iteration. I love this. Ultimately, I loved working on this project because of the nuance involved in each phase. For SPF, it was important that the design inspire users to donate. For a new team working on a short timeline, we had to learn how to let individuals shine while blending multiple visions together. Oh my gosh, that is the hardest part. For me, I realized I needed to use my background as a manager to build team trust and cohesion. I created space for divergent thinking and ambiguity to eventually build consensus and collaboration. Sheika, this is fantastic. I would be absolutely shocked if you are not getting callbacks, because this is fantastic. This is telling a story for the Southern Power Fund. This isn't necessarily the user story, which I really appreciate that we didn't lean into a bunch of those typical outputs that we might see in most of the case studies, because that's how people have been taught to do this work. So this is really business focused, and it's really demonstrating that you both understand the UX process, you understand how to collaborate effectively with other people, and you know your junk, you know your stuff, you know your shit. Sorry, I'm just gonna stop with the fluffy words. You know your stuff. This is phenomenal. This is probably one of my favorite case studies that I've seen to date. Whew, Sheika, I'm loving this. Thank you so much for the opportunity to review your portfolio.